had a really slow month when it came to reading in June, and I only read 4 books. But one of those books is an advanced proof from Bloomsbury Publishing of a book that does not come out until September. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lydia Kyle. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. I am an avid reader, book collector, and every month I do a review of all the books that I read in the month. So, like I said, June was kind of a slow month for me, but that's okay because I had some huge wins. So, before we go any further, if you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you're reading right now in the comments because I would love to know because I might add it to my TBR, and let's talk about these books. First book up for discussion, Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. That name may sound familiar to you. Cassandra Clare wrote the Mortal Instruments series, which was wildly popular when I was a young adult. It's an incredible, incredible series, like mind-blowingly incredible. One of my favorite all-time fantasy series ever, okay? This book, I did not like this. This is like so... I kept reading it thinking like, Cassandra Clare wrote this? I mean, it's beautifully written. Like, don't get me wrong, beautifully written, but like so slow and nothing happens in this book. It's so boring. Now, I will give it credit because it's very well written. Like, it's very well written and there's no errors in it. Like, the plot is there even though it's boring. Like, the characters are there even though they're not super captivating. Like, it's a good, solid book. But coming from Cassandra Clare, I was just expecting so much more. That said, maybe I was just in a bad mood. That's entirely possible because I've had other people say that they absolutely loved this book. I have heard that the second book, the last like 150 pages, is like a wild ride where it all starts to come together. I just don't know if I'm invested enough to stick it out that long. One of the most anticipated romantasy books of the entire year, The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. Guys, if I have any flowers to give to Rachel Gillig, it's the fact that she writes some of the most approachable fantasy ever. Like, if you're not a fantasy reader and you come to me and you say, hey, I want to like kind of try a fantasy book, I'm going to give you One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. Okay, now I might give you The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig because this is her new duology, book 1 of a new duology. This is the Stonewater Kingdom. I loved this. I love this. I will say that I liked the One Dark Window duology more, the Shepherd King duology. I liked it more than I liked The Night and the Moth. But I will say this book has some of the most fantastic characters, and her dialogue between characters, so good. I loved this. I highly recommend it. It wasn't my favorite compared to One Dark Window, but still, incredible book by Rachel Gillig. So last month I read Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, and it was my best book of the month. If you haven't seen my other videos, I do this every month. I do a best and the worst. This month I'm just gonna do the reviews, but I read Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, and it was my best book of the month. I read Artemis. It was a very quick read for the end of the month for me, for the end of June. I did read it very quickly. It is very good. Easy to read, easily digestible. The plot is there. It carries itself very well. I just didn't like the main character as much. I didn't like Jazz as a character. I didn't find her as endearing as the main character. I'm not going to give any spoilers. As the main character from Project Hail Mary. And also the theme of this book is a heist that happens on the moon. That's just really not my theme. Like, I just couldn't get into the story of it. That said, very easy read, very digestible, and still good fun. It's good fun. This one is not as family friendly as, actually, I'll point blank. This is not family friendly. Project Hail Mary, family friendly, okay? This one is definitely more adult, not in the sense of like intimacy or explicit stuff. It's just language, themes of violence. This is definitely more adult. Last but not least, thank you so much to Bloomsbury Publishing for sending me an advanced proof of Among the Burning Flowers by Samantha Shannon. I cannot even, you guys, this is the most special advanced reader copy that I have ever gotten, okay? This was one of my most anticipated reads of the entire year, and I got it months in advance. And I'm telling you right now, you need to pre-order it immediately. And I'm not just saying that, okay? This is a direct prequel to Priory of the Orange Tree. This is the story of the draconic overhaul of one of the kingdoms from Priory of the Orange Tree. I'm not giving spoilers because if you haven't read Priory of the Orange Tree, you absolutely must. It is hands down one of the best epic fantasies that I have ever read. And probably one of the best epic fantasies from a female author. It's incredible, okay? So we have Priory of the Orange Tree. This is a direct prequel, Among the Burning Flowers, direct prequel of Priory of the Orange Tree. And then we have a much farther back prequel of this story. So generations and generations in advance, we have A Day of Fallen Night. I did not like A Day of Fallen Night as much as I liked Priory. I have only one complaint about Among the Burning Flowers. I wish that it was 600 pages longer, because I would have read 600 more pages of this story. Loved the characters, loved the plot, loved all the little pieces woven together that give us explanations from like characters that we met in other books, and like the storylines are just perfectly tied together, but not so closely tied together that you can read them in a specific order and mess it up. Really, truly, you could probably pick this book up and it could be your first introduction to the entire series. However, I will still stand by, I think you need to start with Priory of the Orange Tree. That's just me. I recommend starting there. If you've read Priory of the Orange Tree or A Day of Fallen Night, pre-order Among the Burning Flowers as fast as possible because it is incredible. And again, thank you to Bloomsbury for sending me this proof. This is such a gift to me. I can't thank you enough. There you have it, 4 books in the month of June. I know that was really fast. Usually I read about 6 to 8 books a month. It was just a slow month for me. There's a lot of things going on in our personal lives, and I just didn't have the capacity to read as much, but I'm glad I read the books that I did, even the ones that I didn't enjoy as much as the others. It's always a pleasure to find new literary works to enjoy. If you haven't already, tell me in the comments what you are reading right now, because my TBR is always growing and I want to know what you guys are reading. I want to know what you're loving. And if you haven't, please subscribe to my channel. That way you'll get notifications of any of my new videos. This is a video that I recommend you watching if you enjoyed this one. This is my reviews from last month so that you can add to your TBR. Thanks as always for being here, you guys. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you next time. Happy reading.